Hey babies, it's MahMah Tea back with another one. Yeah, honey, Mama been on the road traveling for like for 40 days and 40 nights. And it's been such a stressful situation, but I'm still keeping my energy up and my wits about me and still experimenting along these planetary alignment grids to make the best of a not so good situation. You see, you always have to be in control of your mind because this is how depression sets in. You always have to keep your eye on your inner vision to connect with the bigger picture. You know, every day I remind myself my mission is bigger than me. This is not always about my little selfish ass and what I want. Sometimes I gotta walk a walk, it may be a little uncomfortable because it's a part of the process and you gotta show some discipline. Now, I'm a human being in this body. I know y'all can call us whatever you want to call it, but this is what I'm saying, just to keep it, in a way that we all can understand. We go through things. We have emotions. We have good days and not so good days. And sometimes you got to let those not so good days have its day. Okay? And then after that, I said, that's enough of this shit now. You're going to have to get on to the back seat and let me continue driving. Because you can get stuck in a certain mindset that will plummet your whole existence and keep you trapped in darkness. And at the end of the day, you are your own light that has to shine your way out of the depths of your own dark ways. You're going to have to learn how to rely on yourself to do that. I really want to talk about the power of the mind, the power of the word, because that's the 1+1. And the equal to is the power of manifestation. When you combine the mind with the word, the result is the manifestation. What I mean by that? The things that you think, your thoughts, everything is energy. And thoughts is like this invisible resonance. And what you think, what a lot of the things we think is about what we perceive throughout our environment, because many of us are focusing on the things that's just outside of us, what we see in front of us. But that little third eye that's in here, that inner eye, very few of us tap in to the inner eye and listen to the inner thoughts. Okay. Now, if this eye right here is full of calcification, meaning you're eating a lot of bad foods and it's hard as a damn rock, and it's in there just cracking away, it's supposed to be fluid and flow like it's like a flower when the wind blows, or a water lily in the water, everything just moving and flowing. That's how your inner eye is supposed to be. Your inner eye gives you insight. Insight is where you find your inner light. And that inner light, whether it's dim or bright, is formulating your thoughts. And it doesn't have all the junk they feeding us around here, okay? And everything. We under this huge spiritual attack. But even still, we in the battlefield. And your battlefield, when you go into battle, baby, you got to put on your armor. And the armor just isn't physical. The armor starts spiritually. I'm going to connect these dots for you. Now, I say your inner eye's dim. That pineal gland's a little calcified. You have no inner light. So you are totally dependent on these two things and these things. And if it's you surrounded by a lot of negative energy, well, and you in the box all day, you're not getting outside, you stay in the house, You're not getting no sunlight. You're under artificial light all day. Then you turn on the TV and that's more artificial light coming in. Oh, you're on your cell phones, your computer all day. More artificial light coming in. Now your thoughts don't become your own. Your thoughts now are part of a program that you now begin to repeat and replay. That's the first, that's your one, that's your one. Now your plus one comes in. The words that you begin to speak. Now you're saying all the things that you programmed, that you was hearing, that you let into this portal right here. These ears are portals. Your eyes are portals, as well as your mouth. I would even put it to a level where your eyes and your ears are actually vortexes and things that you allow into your vortex. Now your portals are things that you can come out of. So now your words become a portal of what you allowed into the vortexes. What you think you gonna be speaking on, baby? What you think your whole conversation is gonna be about? All the things you let into the vortex. That's your other plus one now. Now, what you're doing is shaping and molding your manifestations. Because when you speak things into existence, that is one of the first forms of manifestation, because now it's coming out of a spiritual world into the physical world where it needs to take on a physical form. That's why we call it reality. It becomes real. So your circumstances become real. The people around you become real. Now that is all you are attracting. That's your manifestation. That's the power of the word. Even in your Bible, let there be light. The first thing was, first there was the word, and the word became flesh, and this and that. They're telling you that what you speak out on this plane has to take form. And the reality is that flesh. I'm going to tell you something else. Writing is just as powerful as speaking. You know, in astrology, the third house is ruled by the sign of Gemini. And Gemini is governed or influenced by the planetary energy of Mercury. Mercury connects with Tahuti. You all know Tahuti as Thoth. It's very interesting to show you. Mercury also resonates with the gemstone of emeralds. And it's no coincidence that Tahuti wrote on the emerald tablets, right? He showed with this quill, the beak of a quill, which represents the pen. Gemini rules writing, speaking, listening, learning, processing thoughts. It's a neutral sign. This is why Gemini is the twins. Both sides of the story, both sides of the coin. It can see both sides equally. This is why when you get into conversations with some Gemini, honey, they can switch gear on you faster than a race car, honey, because they can see both sides. That's why some people say it's hard to get the last word with the Gemini, because their mind is racing ahead. They 10 steps ahead of you. Some of the most genius people on the planet next to Aquarius. But all this to say is this. The other part of manifestation is writing. Writing down your thoughts is one powerful way to bring things from a spiritual mental plane into the physical reality. Now imagine if you align your thoughts with your inner light and you begin to see the world that you want to see. You want to sculpture and mold your environment how you want it to be. Not only speaking it, is a tone, but writing it brings it to the earthly qualities. Because you're writing, you're going to take a pen or a pencil, especially if you took a pencil, because it's wood with the lead. And you're writing it on paper, which is wood as well. And you're manifesting that through that. And then you set it on fire. Now you're tapping into the elements of fire that come with the quickening, and the ashes blow into the air, into the frequencies. There's some high magic I'm telling some of y'all, It's simple, just like that. How you can manifest things into your reality. We have a lot more power than we know. You lose your power when you let others do all the thinking for you, making all the decisions for you, even when those people are not in their right mind or even have your best interests at heart. I'm back into the States and I'm just looking. When you leave the United States for a little period of time, I just been gone for 6 months, eating different foods for 6 months. And the moment I got back here and started eating, I got sick. Even my dog getting sick. I said, what the hell? So now I got to acclimate my body to the poison and go seek out and search out food to find the best foods that's best for me. That's a challenge. And you know what's sad? Many of us don't even know. We okay with the way things are. This is why we're being taken advantage of by the powers that be, because they know you don't know. They never want you to know. So as you're watching your boob tube and all these things, they're plummeting you with a perception that may not even be real. And you won't know until you go out there and you seek it out for yourself. You believe in everything you allowing into your vortexes. You're not going within searching for your inner truth to know, because when you go inside, you know there's more out there. All this can't be like this. Those of you who do know about Tahuti, you call them Thoth. I'm going to call them Jehuti. You know that Jehuti is responsible for the universal laws or the Hermetic principles. So, and many of you don't even tap into the Hermetic principles to realize that there's correspondences, there's polarities, there's opposites. Nothing is ever one way. That's why I love astrology, because when I'm in a certain way, I'm going to look at the opposite sign to pull on the polarity to create my balance. It's about balance. That's where you're going to find perfection. That's how you're going to learn how to alchemize the process by taking two polar opposites and creating something brand new in which you have the power to manifest. I had several conversations with different people while I'm here. And I'm just realizing the perception. Some people is just ass backwards. It really is. Now, everybody can't think like me. And I don't expect them to. But ridiculousness after a while, shit that don't make no damn sense, it just misses me. And when someone tries to make sense out of something that seems incredibly senseless, well, that's a box that they choose to be in. And I'm not going to argue anymore about anybody who want to live in that box. Baby, that is your choice. Close the lid then, honey. Stay in there. Be under the rock. I choose to turn rocks over. I've always been this way. And many of you are the same way. That's why you resonate a lot with MahMah Tea. I'm just a voice. I'm exercising. I'm manifesting through my words. And it's hitting many vortexes around this globe. Because ultimately, I want to change the world. But I can't do it by myself. That is why I'm utilizing the power of my voice. Because I understand my planetary placements of the third house that rules communication. I got some heavyweights in there, baby. And I could use my words to build or to destroy. Before I was healed or it's a constant effort of healing yourself. But when I was resonating on a lower vibration, mama had a mouth on her, honey, I would cuss you out left and right, wouldn't care nothing about you, not realizing that I had the power to destroy you verbally. In a way, I was kind of proud of that shit. But after I realized all the people that I hurt by saying some horrible things, because I'm coming from a place of hurt, I didn't know that my words had that much power, that people still could be holding on to that pain today. So now I believe in atonement and forgiveness, because I need to be forgiven some of the things I said to some people out of anger and frustration. Because Pluto is in my third house, conjunct my Uranus. So, honey, I could come like a storm. But Pluto not only rules death, it rules rebirth and transformation. So I decided to utilize the power of my third house in Virgo to heal and transform as many people as I can through utilizing the powers of my word. And I'm watching all of these things manifest right before my very eyes. Words are frequencies and tones. That's why people talk about the English language of spells, because, you're writing in cursive and all one word can mean 7 different things. All of this stuff does have meaning, but we have to choose our words wisely, especially the words we say to ourselves. We repeat over and over again. Those of us who were born with Mercury retrograde, we lean towards the tendency of repeating things, saying things. So you have to be mindful of what you say is more like a mantra and not a curse on yourself, sabotaging yourself by saying what you can't do and what you won't do and what you ain't, and I'm this and that. All of this stuff you continue to say is what you reprogramming yourself to be. That will be your manifestation. There is no way you're going to come out of this thing on the other side if you're always putting blocks and limitations and hindrances on yourself by saying the things you can't do and you won't do and what you like and what you not like. And then talking about other people ain't going to do this and they never going to do that and other people ain't going to do that. Well, guess what that means? You don't know everybody. All you know is the people around you. So you kind of shaping and molding them too by telling all these things you saying, what they ain't, what they can't, what they won't do. That's all you're going to be around. Is people that can't, that won't, and can't do. This is how simple this thing really is, y'all. It's not that hard. Frequencies and tones. I was talking to a baby girl while I was driving. Shout out to I Am God Frequency. That is my friend. I love that sister, honey. We would talk about 3 hours on the road. And she's so filled with knowledge and wisdom. And she put me on game even more about these frequencies and these tones and how we need to heal on the cellular level. And there's some people that hit notes when they sing. What you do, like some singers whose songs outlived them. 9 times out of 10 is because they hit frequencies and tones that resonate with masses of people. And it continues to just recycle over and over and over again. They have a high octave of Mercury conjuncting something like Neptune, or I won't say conjuncting, but having a strong aspect to Neptune, Pluto, Uranus, them outer planets. If your Mercury is hitting outer planets, honey, your words can influence masses of people. And those of us who are walking around with this magical power don't realize we holding it. Some powers be know who holding what. So they want to make sure you are in an environment that what you say can affect people on the level that they need to keep them people on. Yes, it is. Manifestation through the thoughts, through the words, and through writing. That's why when we say affirmations, you continue in saying affirmations and mantras, you're shaping and molding your reality. Because after a while, what you put in the airwaves has to come down to the planetary energy of the groundingness of the earth, which means it has to manifest into a physical, material form. These are the laws of nature, baby. We all focusing on man-made laws and the shit he trying to put out there that's just keeping everybody suffocated and tied of boxes. Well, we can speak things into existence to bust your ass right out of every box he trying to put you in. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But if you don't know, and you don't know how to control your thoughts, you don't know how to control what you let in your vortexes of your eyes, that's dimming your inner eye, your light, you will manifest and bring forth through tones and frequencies nothing but a lower vibration, and then wonder why everything around you is manifested in a low vibrational form. We got to heal ourselves on the cellular level. We got to be careful of what we allow in our vortexes, and we have to be especially protective and mindful what we allow out our portals. But one of the most powerful tools is what you write down with that pen. And then you work with the other elements of air and fire and earth. And you watch your life turn around and manifest with the quickness. Because we at a time of the quickening. That's why things are happening at such a rapid pace. I can't believe this past 6 months is gone already. We're in summertime. I left at wintertime. Next thing you know, it's going to be wintertime again. So now my mind got to be progressive. And I got to think about the winter, in the spring, in the fall, in the next seasons ahead, and how I'm moving now will align to what I want manifest by those seasons. Futuristic minds. Yeah, we living in the now, but the actions and the words that we speak now, best believe they gonna shape and mold your future. All right, well, that's my daily word for the day. That was a long one. MahMah Tea, y'all be good. Bye, baby.
If electricity is produced by copper and carbon, the friction of copper and carbon, then where do we go in the human body and find the organ that produces electricity? We find that it's the brain. The brain is the center of motor. The nervous system is the conduit that carries the electricity to various points of the body to cause motion. Now, should we ask, what is the composition of the brain? It is made up of what? Carbon and copper. The pineal gland is carbon, and the cerebral cortex, copper.
Does everybody have a pineal gland? I was told the other day that everybody doesn't have one. Is that true or not?
If you had no pineal gland, you would not be alive. You would be in no motion. It's impossible. Every race has pineal glands.
What happens when you take one slow, steady breath, contracting your intrinsic muscles, the muscles you use for elimination, your sexual organs, your lower abdomen and your upper abdomen? You push cerebral spinal fluid up to your brain, holding your attention there, focusing your closed inward eyes up to your third eye, holding your breath and your attention at your third eye. You apply a mechanical stress that activates the crystals in your pineal gland. We are turning on the radio receiver of the brain. We are expanding consciousness. We are expanding awareness. And this feels like bliss, ecstasy. It's orgasmic enlightenment. It's Kundalini rising.
The blue water lily is believed to have originated in Egypt's Nile River and was used by ancient Egyptians as a sacred substance to attain higher levels of consciousness. In fact, it's common to find symbols representing the blue lotus in Egyptian pillars and scrolls.
And that's a fact. It's all over ancient Egyptian art. And the Egyptologists would tell you that they're holding those just to sniff the perfume. No, they're not. They're venerating them for their effects on consciousness.
Life is sacred. Try MahMah Tea's Blue Lotus Wellness Blend and Sacred Roots Blend. Available now at sacredtea.net.